In open play middle third, Barca were building the game in back 2 and was using sole pivot. Victoria pressing with front 2 in open play and they were operating central and narrow. When Barca's left centre back had the ball, Victoria's right centre forward was ready to press Barca's left centre back and the remaining centre forward was ready to track back Barca's pivot. Passing options for Barca's centre-backs were being removed due to Victoria's left centre for covering Barca's pivot and Victoria's centre midfielder marking Barca's attacking midfielder in midfield. So Barca's centre-backs were being forced to play sideward passes as Barca's centre-backs did not have passing option in midfield. Now Barca's attacking midfielder were split and operating in the half-space zone. With Barca's attacking midfielder operating in the half-space zone, Victoria's centre midfielder were forced to drift wide to mark Barca's attacking midfielder man-to-man. So with Victoria's centre midfielder in the half-space zone, the central zone was opening up for the Barca striker and the striker of Barca could easily receive the ball by dropping in the central zone. Because in the open play the fullbacks of Barca were operating high, so Victoria's wide midfielder was forcing Barca's fullback to close down. If Victoria's wide midfielder was not closing Barca's fullback, then Barca's fullback could easily bypass Victoria's second line and become an attacking threat. Barca had the number advantage of 5 vs 2 players in the open play middle third and the position of Victoria's forward was center, so Barca's centre backs could easily play sideward passes. Victoria's midfield was of 4 players. Victoria still had the number advantage of 4 vs 3 players despite the Barca striker dropping in midfield. Barca's attacking midfielder were operating in the half-space zone and when Barca's attacking midfielder were trying to drop in and receive the ball, Victoria's central and wide midfielder were ready to press Barca's attacking midfielders. If Barca's centre-back player passed over the fullback in the wide zone, Victoria's wide midfielder was ready to defend 1v1 to Barca's fullback. If Barca's centre-back was playing the ball centrally toward the attacking midfielder, then Victoria were defending 2v1 to Barca's attacking midfielder. Barca's striker was dropping in midfield when Barca were building the game in the progressive zone. Victoria's centre midfielder were marking man-to-man attacking midfielder of Barca and Barca's attacking midfielder were operating normally wide, so Victoria's centre midfielder were forced to defend wide. Barca's striker was dropping in midfield while Barca were building the game in the progressive zone. Due to the split of Victoria's centre midfielder, space was being created in the central zone and Barca's striker was free to receive the ball in the central zone. So when Barca's striker was dropping in midfield, Victoria's central defender was being forced to close down Barca's striker. Now 7 players of Victoria were involved in the press, so the rest of the Victoria's defense was that of 3 players. Now Victoria had 1 central defender and 2 fullbacks in the back line, and you can see here how big was the space between Victoria's central defender and fullback. Now Barca's winger was providing width by staying wide, so Victoria's fullback was forced to close down Barca's winger when Barca's winger was receiving the ball in the wide zone. So when Victoria's fullback was committing on Barca's winger, Victoria's central defender was not drifting wide, so space was being created between Victoria's central defender and fullback and Barca's attacking midfielder was ready to go behind Victoria's defense. Later in the game, Barca's attacking midfielder were dropping in and Barca's fullback were pushing high. Victoria's centre midfielder was being forced to track back Barca's attacking midfielder due to the drop-in of Barca's attacking midfielder, and on the other hand, Victoria's wide midfielder was committing on Barca's fullback as Barca's fullback pushed high into the wide zone. So with Victoria's right-hand side midfielder being out of position, space was being created in the midfield and Barca's striker could have easily received the ball by dropping in the midfield. In the final third, Barca's fullback were providing width by staying high and wide. Because of Barca's fullback were operating wide, Barca's winger could move in the half-space zone. Due to the winger of Barca were operating in the half-space zone, Victoria's fullback was being forced to defend narrow. Because Victoria's fullback was defending narrowly, Victoria needed an extra player to defend 1v1 to Barca's fullback, so Victoria's midfielder was joining Victoria's defense by dropping in and Victoria were defending in back 6 in the final third.